Should be good. Let's go find it.
So what we'll end up doing, we're just gonna warm up a little bit, and the idea being that obviously we don't want to just jump straight into driver, but I like how we have everything sort of narrowed down a little bit already. The preliminary testing is going to be super helpful for us, and we'll take a very agnostic, data-driven approach. We're going to look at some numbers. If you have any questions on those numbers, I know you're well versed, but I'll go as deep or as little as we want to. So if you have a question of why is that better or things like that, you know, that's going to be always important as well. And nobody knows your game better than you. So one of the things I like to tell everybody in a fitting environment is, I'm not going to tell you what's good. You're going to help tell me what's good. And I'll interpret the data and make sure that what you're feeling is justified with good ball flight. But if I hand you something and you don't like the sound, look, feel, whatever, I can't tell you what feels good.
Get a little warm here. Again, like you said, don't jump straight into driver. We don't want to hurt ourselves.
So tell me a little bit of the goals going into this season. It's 2025.
Yep.
What is a new driver or new woods? What are they going to do for your game that your current clubs aren't?
Well, last year I was under contract with PXG, so I had the obligation that I was had to play PXG woods, irons, everything. This year, equipment-wise, I'm with Bettinardi, but they only make irons and wedges and putters, so I'm technically a free agent when it comes to the woods. So what I've decided is let's go out and test them all and figure out what's best for my game, because PXG might not have been what's best for my game. So we went out, we tested all the heads. We narrowed it down to a couple, and then hopefully we're going to find the best head for me and my swing, regardless of brand. There's no brand loyalty. I'm not getting paid by anybody. Nobody's sending me free gear. So let's find the best head and shaft combination that fits my swing, and hopefully that translates to the golf course and lowers the scores and increases consistency and all that stuff.
Brian, how tall are you? About 5'11", 6 foot?
5'9", actually.
5'9", you're a tall 5'9".
Which with golf shoes on, maybe I'm 5'10".
Okay, perfect.
On a good day.
And then while we're here, I want to take a couple of measurements for you. So if you could stand nice and tall for me, I want you to put your feet together and look straight ahead and let your arms just comfortably hang. This is upside down. And you have just about a 35 1/4, pushing 35 1/2 inch wrist to floor. And then the other thing I want to see real quick is I just want to measure your wrist to your elbow is just about 11, and your elbow to your shoulder is just about 12. So fairly symmetrical, but your upper arm is slightly longer than your lower arm.
Okay.
We'll put that in the back of our mind as we're going through some things. There's potentially a correlation between that relationship and the length of the shaft that you're going to need. So okay, we'll kind of see what's going on. And so as we're still continuing to warm up, we've sort of through the preliminary testing that you were mentioning that you were able to spend a little bit of time down in our second swing store in the Colony, hit a couple hundred shots, kind of narrowing things down. Yeah. And today we're going to do some final confirmation of, you know, one, are we able to repeat some of the successful data that you saw during the preliminary testing? And then two, is there a way that we can make it even better? So a couple of things that we've seen already, you tend to be gravitating towards some lower spin heads. Right. We see things like the Qi35 LS and the ELYTE Triple Diamond from Taylormade and Callaway respectively. As we're going through here today, I may ask you some questions that you may or may not have an answer to, and that's all right. It's kind of like going to the eye doctor. I'm going to ask you one or two, because I can't tell you what's right or wrong, whether it feels good or things like that. So what we're going to do is start out with a shaft in both of these heads that is the exact same. Okay. So that all we're doing is testing the head, which one gives us better data, and so forth. Because you've played a VF7X in the past, that's a really good spot for us to start. Okay. So if you're feeling like we're warmed up, ready to go into it, let me grab our first head here. We'll start with the Taylormade Qi35 LS, 8 degree. And we will grab the VF7X. We'll start out with everything neutral.
So guys, once again, if y'all remember, went through all the testing, the drivers, we're gonna start with drivers. Went with the Callaway Triple Diamond and the new ELYTE brand, model. And then we're gonna go with the new Taylormade Qi35 LS also. So that's where we're gonna start. Like Blaine was saying, same shaft. We're gonna test just the head right now and see which one's giving us better numbers.
All right, so what we have here, like you were just saying, we have the exact same shaft in the same length, in the same weight, with the same grip. We have the Qi35 LS and we have the Callaway ELYTE Triple Diamond, both 8 degrees, both on a neutral setting. We'll start out with a handful of shots with each of these, get an idea for which head is creating a more favorable launch and spin conditions, tighter grouping, and then once we determine which head is working a little bit more consistently, we can start to look at fine-tuning it a little bit. So let me go ahead and tag this in our system, tell the computer what we're hitting so we can track everything as we go. And we're starting here, Qi35 LS, 8 degree on the ADVF 7X. And we are using the Titleist Pro V1 RCT ball today, and we can fire when you're ready, Brian.
First swing of the day, slightly left.
And I know we talked about that a little bit, but
yeah,
this is the one that we're trying to avoid.
Right, that's the miss we don't want. That was a little heely. Still felt a little left. Better well struck there, but let's see if we can't straighten that out a little bit. It's getting there. That's more like it.
Perfect. Let's go at least 2 more.
Yep.
And we'll see where we're at. We'll obviously take out the first couple. They're just our first driver swings of the day.
It may be a swing thing too. My miss lately has definitely been left. That was well struck. Let's see what that does.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Now, I know it's early. We may come back to it, but just to get a preliminary data, let's switch over to the Triple Diamond head. We obviously know the first couple swings, we hadn't hit any driver to warm up. So we're going to take it with a grain of salt. But let's now switch. Everything else is equal, other than we have our Triple Diamond. Same loft, same shaft, same length, same grip. So I would like to test a theory real quick while we're here. I want to try something here, because sometimes this alone makes a large difference, especially in a fitting bag.
Okay.
If we can, for some players, change our visual from looking at a screen to looking down somewhere, it gives us a little bit more of a replication of what we might see when we're actually playing.
Right.
So let's do this, see if this makes a difference for us. I'm going to take out our RCT balls. Don't want to lose those guys.
Right.
There's a whole bag of Pro Vs. So let me just change this real quick to outdoor mode.
Still felt left. I didn't see it.
It is left. It is
okay.
hard left. Other thing we can try here. See if that helps get you a little extra light.
Yeah. Just see if I can hit a cut real quick. Nope. That was better. Just a little left.
High tight draw, center contact. So while we're here for a moment, I want to try something. I want to go back to the Taylormade. This is the 9-degree head, but set 2 notches lower to effectively create a similar loft, but do so in a slightly more fade bias way.
Right, just open that head just a hair.
Just a little bit, exactly. Pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Now I'm just curious, to your eye, compared to what we saw, start a tiny bit right and little draw back. Is that a comfortable amount of movement?
Yeah, that's what I would love.
Beautiful.
I'm not the Rory type that likes the big push draw.
Understood.
I would prefer it to start right center and end up in the right.
Well, I love what that one just did. Spin is fantastic. Your landing angle's great. Good carry in total.
That was a little pull, but still not as drawy.
And let's check that spin rate especially. Here it goes. Yeah, that's 2 in a row. You've now hit 2 in a row, 278 yards in the air and 304.5 yards total.
Just pulling everything still.
Now the other thing that's nice to see though, you just hit, say, 2 shots in a row that both hit 305. You're now at an average, 3-shot average at 302.6. But what's really fun, this is not normalized. It's for the real conditions. It's about, I don't know, 55 degrees out, a little bit damp. Normalize it for summer conditions, 90 degrees, and we're at 316 yards.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's what I like right there.
Yeah, that's really nice. So, by taking the club with a little bit extra loft and de-lofting it, it creates more fade bias, helps fight your left miss.
Yep.
Let's be fair. I want to do the same thing with the Callaway. So we're going to take the 9-degree Triple Diamond. I'm going to go down 1 degree, brings us to 8. And the other thing that we could potentially do if we need to is we do have some movable weights on the Triple Diamond. We could put the heavier weight forward. That also creates a little bit more fade bias. But I don't want to do that yet, because in theory, the heavier weight in back creates forgiveness.
Okay.
So let's start with that guy right there. It's now 8. All right, and you're good to go. Okay.
That felt really good then.
Yeah, what do you think of that window that we just saw?
That was perfect. That's what I want. Just a baby draw would be perfect.
Right on. That's fantastic. Dead center off of the middle of the face. It's only 1 shot, but something that is catching my attention. You just hit that one 304 yards, but it was 2.5 miles an hour slower than the Taylormade in terms of club speed.
Yep.
So it's effectively around 8 yards more efficient, given 1 shot. It's only 1 shot.
Right.
But that is a significant gain.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that would be ideal right there.
Wow, okay. Let's see again. We have 4 shots with the Taylormade. Let's get 2 more with the Callaway and see overall dispersion. When you look at that flight, would you say that's too high, too low, or just right?
That's higher than normal.
Okay.
But if I'm getting 280 carry out of it, I'm fine with it.
Perfect.
Because that's about what I would say, averaging before.
Yeah.
That one felt a little bit left than the other 2, but still felt really good. The one thing I love is I don't feel like I've missed the center of the club face with this at all.
No, it's really good.
That was a little toey there as soon as I say that. It's going to have 2 more draw, a little bit more draw.
I'd like to see 1 more with the Callaway with the T adjusted.
A little high on the face, but not
Still
terrible.
working out all right. Ball speed is still up there. You've had everything in the mid to high 160s, other than I'll call this a quote miss hit at 160.
Yeah, it wasn't
ball speed.
perfect, but still.
If that's the miss.
I'll take it.
So now that we've hit about 5 shots, we've had to delete with each of them. We have kind of a high level idea of what's going on.
Yep.
I also want to pull up, you can't see it on that screen, but here we can see contact location. So this right now, we're looking at the 4 shots with the Taylormade, very centered, trending 1 shot low on the face, but the rest are in a really good spot. When we look at the Callaway, a little bit better. So there's something about potentially the aesthetic of it. It's probably, and we know it's not the shaft, but I really like, I know it's still very early in the process, but I like how it looked like, 1, you made the comment, I haven't missed the middle of the face yet. And 2, you've hit a combination of grade A and what I'm going to call grade B shots, and they're all right there.
Right.
And that's very important.
I mean, that last one was probably just a slight mishit, and it's, you know, still right down the center and maybe 10 yards shorter, which I would be fine with, you know, it's not terrible.
And the other one that catches my attention, we mentioned it just a moment ago, but if we look on the surface, we would say, okay, one of them is going 279.8 in the air, the other one's 278.4. Oh, that's only 1.5 yards. Right. And when we look at total distance, it's only 1 yard apart, but it is a 3-mile-an-hour club head speed difference.
Right.
And with every 1 mile an hour being a potential 2.5 to 3 yards on a driver, it means that it's pound for pound more efficient.
Right.
If you can swing it 3 miles an hour slower and get the same distance, it's getting better ball speeds off of it.
Right.
So we're starting to see some very, very positive results from here. Would you agree that through what we've seen so far, this head's working better?
The Triple Diamond seems to be in the lead, yeah, for sure.
Beautiful. Let's make sure that this is the right shaft for you.
Yeah.
Let's try a couple others that similar enough type of a profile, but it'll be different enough that we can see if maybe we like something else. Here we have the Ventus Blue. And this is a 60-gram class X Flex. Nice middle of the road profile. Again, the important thing here is I can't tell you what feels right.
Yeah.
So your help.
So is this is a little lighter?
Yes, this will be 10 grams on the sticker. 10 grams.
Yeah, I must say I can feel that it's definitely a little lighter, which hopefully in turn maybe get the swing speed up just a hair.
Potentially, yes.
All right.
And that's also one of the things we're testing. There's new research out there saying that lighter does not guarantee you swing it faster.
Right, that's true. A little heely, but just a little left. Pretty good ball flight though.
Ball speed stayed up.
It's not bad for a heel or a little bit of a heel strike. Just slightly heely again, but pretty straight ball flight. That was pretty high.
Yeah, all right, let's keep going. So comparatively speaking, while you're still achieving good club speed and getting good ball speeds, we're obviously seeing the window that ball go through is very different now.
Yeah. So, a little more spin, 2,900.
So let's bring the weight back up just a little bit and see if we can tighten that dispersion up. We're going Ventus Black. A little bit stiffer in the handle here compared to what you were just swinging.
There you go.
And we got the overall weight back up as well.
Yeah, that feels more familiar, I guess you could say, weight-wise. See if we can hit those high schoolers over there. Mm-hmm.
I like the window.
Yeah, it's a lot better ball flight as far as trajectory. Ball speeds up a little bit too.
What do you think about that amount of draw we just saw?
That was good. It was a slight pull, I felt like, but as far as draw after the initial, window, like you said, just slightly left pull maybe. And I might feel like I'm aimed more right than I am, but it feels like it's a pull. That one had a little more draw, maybe slightly toey.
Ball speed's up. We know it's a little bit because of the draw. Launch window's good. Okay, so compared to the VF7, we're getting almost the same ball flight, other than now we have more draw.
Right.
Probably having to do with the torque of the shaft. This one's just wanting to turn over a tiny bit more.
Right.
And knowing that that's the miss is probably not the direction we want to go.
Right. Yeah, it's just
cool. So again, numbers check out, but where it is and how it got there, I don't want to do that to a person with a left miss. Once again, going to the other end of the spectrum slightly. It is a little bit lighter.
Yep.
Again, today's a great day to try things that maybe we haven't felt before. Maybe we like them. And this is the new Velocore Plus. It's the Red 6X.
That was a good window, and it felt like it came off right at where I felt like I was aiming.
Okay, good. Ball speed's high, launch is good. Spin's a fraction up, but nothing crazy.
Right. I mean, you're still getting that 281 carry, just not getting the rollout that you would typically get. Oh. What was the ball speed on that one?
Good.
That hip cleared on that one. A little low and left. That one almost had a little cut to it.
All right, so let's pause right there. So far, out of what we've been seeing, I think that VF where we started is giving us some great results.
Right. And again, I've been through a fitting before. PXG was the one that fit me into that. So that was our starting point, and it looks like maybe, you know, that fitting may have been pretty accurate as far as what I need. But it's always good to play around and check.
So now the big question, we've tried some premium shafts. We've determined that there's really nothing wrong with that guy. Does a stock shaft that's offered in the Callaway Matrix beat what a premium shaft does?
Right.
Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. And being that we are non-commissioned fitters,
Right.
I want to see if we can potentially get you some more performance. So this guy, a little bit of a different shaft. The backstory here, I believe one of, or potentially more, of the guys who kind of started the Ventus shaft created their own shaft.
Gotcha.
So we've seen some good success with some of those Ventus. So let's throw this guy in.
A little bit of a heel strike, but not a bad window. Maybe cutting a little bit though.
It's great ball speed for a heel strike. Spin's not crazy.
No carry, but I think that's kind of the heel thing there going.
Ball speed's back up.
That was a better strike.
In terms of feel, where would you say this goes compared to that VF that we've been hanging out at?
It's similar. Just a little heely again. I think that's me though. But the ball speed's still up there with the heel strike, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, I do like how that ball speed's staying high. Let's go one more. The VF is still in that first place spot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the...
All right, let's go past this one. Okay, Denali Black. Back up into a heavier class. You have seemed to be doing the best with the 65 and 70 gram shafts.
Right. Just heely again. What are you doing, dude?
And I wouldn't overthink it too much. We're trying a lot of different shafts. Shafts are timing mechanisms, right? So what we're finding is this is really confirming that this is probably the right shaft.
Right.
And now each shaft that's not this, we have to potentially correct for or try to time things. So let's do a test. Let's take a quick break, grab a sip of water. We're gonna go back to our leading shaft, and I wanna hit it as if it's a pre-shot routine. You're gonna go play a hole.
All right, so let's, like I said,
Full pre-shot routine, and we have a target.
little cut, but not terrible.
Too far.
Let's see. It was a fraction heel, nothing crazy. There, that is so good.
Yeah, that's like right down the middle of those.
Okay, that's confirming that this is the driver.
Yeah, I think
This is the Callaway ELYTE Triple Diamond, 9 degree, set to 8. And that was an important step today.
Yep.
The other thing that's going to be great is, like we were talking about, we can always go up to 10 or 11 if we start playing at altitude.
For sure.
Really, really cool stuff. And again, these are all non-normalized numbers. You're achieving...
So this is in the cold. It's pretty chilly out today, so it's still going carry 283.
And if we did normalize, that strike location is so good. And if we do normalize it, we're going to go from 280 carry, 302 total, to 296 carry, 318 total.
I mean, that's,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's pretty good.
that's not bad. right, guys, so that's it. We are into the Elite Triple Diamond Callaway head. We went up to 9 degrees. We lofted it down 1 degree to an 8 degree, which and then kind of opens that face just a hair, which helps with that left miss that I was having. And then we stayed in the VF7X, which is, again, what I was fitted into previously. We started there, and that was where we ended. So super excited to be into the Callaway Elite Triple Diamond. Now we make our way into the 3 woods and the 5 woods. We have a couple Taylormades, a couple Titleist Callaway there as well. Let's see what we end up with there.